welcome. I'm going to give you a video to cover what we did in class. I noticed that on the programs, most of you are not incorporating the algorithm into your program. You're separating an essential part of developing your program. So what I want to do is go back to Prog 5 and I will show you a process that you really ought to follow. So in Prog 5, here is the algorithm that I gave you. And let's take a look at it. Notice a couple of things. One, it consists of steps. Um, also notice that steps 2 and 3 are connected because they are part of a decision. So this is really an if-else construct. Statement 4 is separate. Statement 5 is a decision that results in 3 different actions. Step 6 and step 7 are independent. So the first thing you do is take this algorithm and copy it and place it inside of your source code as the starting point. So we're going to copy this. In the repository, there is a file called shell, or you may use an old program that you've used, but I'm going to start with the program shell. If I say cp status shell.cpp, there is a file, shell.cpp. I've already got that file in my directory, so I'm going to open it up. And you notice that this matches the program standard that we use for the class. Here's the header that you fill out. We will not do that for this. There's a copyright, there's a place where we put our variables, and then we see our algorithm steps. Please notice that this is neat. I have an close block, open block. All the program, all of the statements for the main are indented inside of the main block. They're not sticking out. They're indented. The algorithm steps themselves are indented. Notice that there's a step, the empty space is where you put your C++, C++, C++. So let's go ahead and stick in the algorithm that we did. Notice what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick it in. Now what do you think we have to do here? We have to turn those into these algorithm steps that you see. So we want to do the following. I want to make this the first step, leave some space. Notice that this line provides this boundary for each step. So you're going to need this all over the place. If you're using Codio, just copy this line and paste it a lot. Alright, so everything stays neat. So I'm going to copy this and paste it all over the place. I'm going to paste it here, 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 here. Alright. Now I'm going to go back in and make sure we leave room here. And then we are going to do step 2. Step 2 begins here. I insert the algorithm step. Step 2. These are algorithm comments. They are formatted a certain way. And so by the time we have this, step 2 says, I must have an if statement that has only a consequence. I know what to do, and I know where to put it. Same thing for step 3. Oops. Did the wrong thing. Step 3 is a part of this. I have grouped this so that the entire decision is clear. So I'm going to need an if-else statement. Statement 4, I'm going to make a comment out of it. Please notice, if statement 2 is this, 2.1 begins over here. Being neat always pays off. And you know I'm kind of fanatical about that. Alright, so for decision 5, all the parts I make a comment for it so I'll know exactly what I have to do. I know exactly what I have to do. Notice that I keep it neat. 5.1, 5.2, 5.3 or what you do when 5 is true. All right, and now we're going to do this. Some of y'all are saying this is a waste of time, okay? And I beg you, don't take that attitude, because getting set up is the thing that's going to save you a lot of headache. Okay, okay. So a little bit of discipline, a little bit of time up front saves you countless minutes and hours later on. So what do we have here? We have our algorithm incorporated into our code, source code. We don't need these generic steps anymore because we have provided the actual steps. As usual, we always display our copyright, which we're going to fix. But let's go back and see. Notice that we now have the skeleton of our program, and the question becomes, do you know how to do step 1? Of course I do. Do you know how to do steps 2 and 3? Of course you do. Notice that you have them in place. So let's go up and declare our variables. According to the problem, what variables do we need? Read an integer n decimal p. So we're going to declare n, and we're going to say it's an input. For right now, we're going to say we need float, which is p. This is decimal. And what else? Do we need anything else? N and p. All we have are n and p. So we're good. Notice that at this point, what we have here really, I'm going ahead and put a couple things in here. We know we want this. We know we need algm because we're going to be formatting numbers. We're not going to worry about the detail yet. But with this, I'm going to save this as demo algorithm to code. And I'm going to compile it. And it should compile. Now, if it compiles, it means we can now go in and begin to add the statements to the program. But you have it all laid out. This is exactly the roadmap you must follow. I think I'm kind of done with this, and my only appeal is the longest road home is achieved by trying to take a shortcut. So I suggest you go in here and do what you need to know. How do you read something? You're going to prompt for it. You're going to prompt whatever you're going to say, right? What does a prompt look like? You skip a line, then ask for the input. I'm not writing the code for you, so don't expect me to do that. Then I'm going to read an actual value. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to read P, and you've accomplished the first step. Okay? If you want to know if it works, just compile it and run it again. Do one little thing at a time. And what do you get? Oops. I'm going to say 17, 18. And we're done. So you know that you're up and running. Go in. I'm going to go a couple more times in. Let's go take a look at this statement here. What kind of statement is this? It's clearly an if. Notice that I put the statements underneath the comment. I don't indent it any further. So I put it right up here. If what? If something, then we're going to say cout n plus p. You gotta fix it so it comes out right. But I'm just showing you. Otherwise, we're going to say cout n times p. Okay. Let's do this and be safe. I'm going to put a block around it. I'll put a block up here, and we know what to do to make that work. Are we clear? So I think I have shown you what you need to know. You just got to take your time and do it. Many of you have things totally out of sequence because you're ignoring the algorithm. I give it to you so that you'll have a roadmap. It's up to you to follow it. Signing off.